Good morning, Keith Tebow, FRCmedia. Thank you for joining us today. Bristol Community College is welcoming two new trustees to its board. They actually just started with their first meeting this week. I'm pleased to be joined right now by one of those two trustees, Renee Clark. Renee is the Chief Operating Officer at South Coast Health and a new Bristol Community College Board of Trustee member. Renee, thank you for joining me. How are you today?
Good. Thank you, Keith.
For people who don't know you at all, give us a little bit of your background in terms of how you got to be the Chief Operating Officer at South Coast Health, and we'll talk about some of your visions for helping Bristol.
Sure. Thank you. So I grew up in Newton and started my administrative career working in a primary care practice that was affiliated with Newton Wellesley Hospital. So I spent a lot of time there. Actually, while I was there, that was the time that I myself was attending community college. And from there, I did some work at Tufts Medical Center, St. Elizabeth's, Harvard Vanguard, and I arrived at South Coast in July of 2011. So I've been here almost 10 years. And as I said, I went to Mass Bay Community College. I was, somebody that was working and going to school at the same time. I transferred to a four-year school after completing studies there, also a state school, Framingham State, and ultimately got my graduate degree at Simmons College in Boston.
So let me get into your what you think you can contribute to Bristol Community College. You mentioned you're a community college student, so you've been, you kind of know what it's like to be a student in that atmosphere. Is that going to give you any guidance in terms of your role as being a trustee, and how can you use that experience to, in your role as a trustee at Bristol?
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly hope that my experience will be helpful as a member of the group. So I think the reasons that I chose a community college at that time are still reasons why people really appreciate that option now. Things like flexibility and accessibility and cost and all of the different types of programs that are offered in a community college. I think the reasons are still the same and really important to a community as well as a diverse group of students. That, in addition to being a mother of college students, now I sort of know what they're looking for, obviously, and what it takes to get in and things like that. So I think hopefully my personal experience, both as a student and as a mother of students, will be helpful.
Now, in terms of being one of the trustees now at the college, what experience do you hope to bring to help move the college forward and, provide that educational opportunity that's so important for our region?
Absolutely. So, well, South Coast Health is one of the largest employers in the region. And so we rely on students that come out of a great facility or institution like Bristol to help build a skilled workforce. And so I think there's a lot of opportunities as part of South Coast to actually think about programming and how to attract students, how to get them interested in different types of careers. Because I think some students, don't know exactly what they want when they go in. And I think, connections to employers in the region is helpful. So I hope that will be the case. And I think, as an organization here and as leaders here, we're really committed to the community. And so we want to pull from that community in terms of our workforce as well. So I'm really hoping that, again, from the personal side, as well as the professional side and the need for skilled labor, if you will, that there's really some great synergies there that I hope will, I know do line up actually with the strategies and the objectives of the organization. And I hope that, I can really contribute to their success with those things.
Finally, let me just ask you this. Bristol is, well respected within our region over 50 years, 55 years now, in terms of being a community college. Mm-hmm. How important is that reputation? And, how important, I guess, is it for you as a trustee? Because, all the trustees not only are helping to better the institution, but also, now you're sort of cheerleaders in terms of,
Right.
as you mentioned, getting people through to
Mhm.
enroll at the college. How important is that reputation and the good work done by faculty and staff? How important is it for you to share that with not only members of South Coast but with the general community?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important. I mean, it's an amazing resource to be right here, and to partner with other community advocates or entities like the public school systems and things that could be feeders. I think there's a lot of mutual benefit from different organizations in the community, and Bristol's, it's amazing. It's an amazing resource to have right here, and I think there's other ways that we can promote that and tap into that as employers as well. So I think it's fantastic.
Renee Clark from South Coast Health, the Chief Operating Officer. Thank you for joining me and saying good luck in your role as Bristol trustee. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Keith.
Let's speak now with the second new member of the Bristol Community College Board of Trustees. I'm pleased to be joined by Pamela Gauvin. Pam is an attorney, a local attorney at Markey and Gauvin LLP. Pam, how are you? Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm well. Good morning.
Thank you. Let me just ask you, as I did with Renee, give us a little bit of background for people who may not know you, and we'll talk about what skills you can bring to the college.
Sure. So I was born and raised actually in New Hampshire. However, my parents are born and raised in New Bedford. So when I graduated from law school, I took the Massachusetts bar exam and became a member of the Massachusetts bar in 1994. From there, having the close ties to Bristol Community College because of my parents being born in New Bedford, my grandparents, both sets of grandparents were also born and raised in New Bedford. I actually came down to Bristol County, and after I passed the bar exam, I got my first job with the Bristol County District Attorney's Office.
And then now, obviously, you've worked in private law since then. I also understand you also teach part-time. Is that correct, at the law school?
Yes, at UMass Dartmouth. Myself and my partner, we teach trial practice to the students there.
So let me ask you, as I understand it, you just completed, I believe, your first meeting earlier this week as we're recording this. Talk a little bit about what you've learned thus far and what some skills you hope to bring as a member of the board.
So I think I'm most excited about President Douglas's new ideas on providing a inclusive and accessible education for reasonable price. I'm really excited about forming partnerships with local businesses to get some of the students into the job force once they become students at Bristol County. And ironically, my office in New Bedford basically looks down on what I believe to be the new offshore wind training facility. So I think that that is going to be a huge benefit for Bristol County. I think that the offshore wind industry is something that is going to bring a lot of students to Bristol County. It's going to train a lot of really talented students from Bristol County to work in the wind industry. So that's one of the things that I'm really excited about. I think Bristol County is a great resource, especially with the dual enrollment program. I think that, our local high schools really should partner with Bristol Community College to try and get some of these high school students kind of into the college world before they graduate from high school. And I think it would be a great transition for some of the students to actually transition right into Bristol Community College. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. And, I got to meet some of the other trustees at the meeting, and everybody's just so energetic and so positive about the school. And I'm really looking forward to working with all of them.
The other thing that I also mentioned to Renee Clark, the other new trustee, is the fact that, not only do you bring certain skills to the board, but you have to be that cheerleader as well when you're out and about in the community. I know you're primarily in the New Bedford area, and our campus, the Bristol campus in New Bedford, has grown over the years to be a vital resource for educational opportunity down in New Bedford. How do you hope to be that cheerleader when you interact with people that you deal with on a day-to-day basis to help promote Bristol?
So, I think that my being an attorney, a local attorney in the New Bedford and Bristol County area, I'm well aware of the diversity and the socioeconomic diversity that we have in this community. And I do a lot of work in the New Bedford District Court, and I do a lot of work I do some work in the Fall River District Court. But I am constantly with people that have incredible potential. And I think that Bristol Community College is a school that would be so helpful to some of the younger generation that I work with. And I also have the ability to speak with being a professor or a part-time professor at UMass Dartmouth, I think that there's an incredible opportunity for partnerships between Bristol Community College and UMass Dartmouth in the sense of even the possibility of transitioning from Bristol Community College onto the UMass Dartmouth campus even before graduation at Bristol Community College. So I think that I do have some connections to both potential students, and I also have a good relationship with some of the people at UMass Dartmouth, and I think that is a partnership that really could be strengthened. And I think there's even a possibility for BCC students to go on to finish up a 4-year degree at UMass Dartmouth. So I think that I'm going to focus on trying to strengthen those partnerships and trying to strengthen the outreach program to high school students. And I think that I have the unique ability to do that.
All right, Attorney Pam Gauvin, thank you for joining me, and congratulations again on your appointment to Bristol Community College. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and thank you for joining us today here in FRC Media. I'm Keith Zebo. Have a great day.